And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Or should I say good afternoon, good morning, good night, depending on where you're tuning in from. My name is Nippon. Joining me tonight is my usual co host, Mr. Matt Ball. And we are here to discuss the transfers and two things I did not think I would be talking about today. Well, should we start off with the good news or the bad news first? Actually, I think we should. I think we'll start off with the bad news. Um, Now, I'm going to say first, Matt, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay given the circumstances of yesterday. Obviously, we'll get into the discussion of that, but and I'll say my piece and message on that in a moment. But yeah, I'm okay given the circumstances. Looking forward to the game tonight.
Big up, Jose. Um, so yeah, um, I'm going to say one thing. Rest in paradise, Diogo Jota, and to his brother Andre Silva. I mean, what a horrible way to go out. I mean, you've been only married for less than 2 weeks, and that happens to you. You know, Matt, when I woke up, I looked at my phone and I saw on Instagram RIP Diogo Jota. At first, I kid you not, I thought it was a hoax. So I went to like a credible news outlet, and it was like everything was the same. Then I went to his Wikipedia page. It's like, oh my god, he's actually gone. I honestly thought it was a hoax.
Yeah, I mean, I'll read what I put on Twitter because I think that kind of sums up my feelings. I mean, so it was rest in peace, Jota and his brother Andre. To lose a life at 28 is so sad. I mean, for me, being 27, it really hit me hard because like that is me. That is my age. That could have been, that could it could be me. That could be you. Me, you drive cars, nipping every day. We could and I tend to drive a lot at that time of night, and it's just so sad to leave a wife and 3 children after having what looked like a wonderful wedding, and they look so happy, and they were just starting a new chapter of their life, and it's so heartbreaking that that's just been tragically destroyed. Life is cruel, unfortunately, but it makes you think that you've got to make sure that every day you live it to the fullest because you never know when it may be your last. Um, it's heartbreaking. I've seen a lot of the tributes. I mean, for example, I've just watched it. We've just had the Fluminense versus Al Hilal game, and to watch Cancelo and particularly Ruben Neves just absolutely on tears in the pitch at the start of the game, it really touches you. And I've been touched by so many of the tributes that people have made all across social media. Unfortunately, there are some people who want to take advantage of the situation and make jokes and share horrible things and do a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes and what ifs and what abouts. But I'm not going to pay too much attention to them cretins and trolls online. But to all the family, friends of Jota and Andre, and to the
Check
fans of
the
Liverpool,
private chat, Matt. Don't say anything. Just check the private chat after you've done your piece.
yeah, to all the family and friends of Jota and Andre, and to all the fans of Liverpool and Penifel, which was Andre's his team. My heart goes out to you all in this tragic time, and I hope that help take whatever time you need to hopefully get over this chapter and hopefully celebrate the lives of two wonderful footballers. And it's great to see that the majority of humanity managed to put out some lovely tributes, and it was wonderful to read them and share people's feelings on it. I just want to say, to all Liverpool fans, it's horrible what you're going through right now, but we can all do this. We can all get through this as one. We all are different football teams, but in these sort of human times, humanity is one. Humanity is one race, one life, one club. So we all pull through this together.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Matt. And now moving on to another thing that happened today. A certain number 5 who plays for Arsenal. Have you heard the news, Matt?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to put too much. I don't want to say too much about this because I do not want to give that disgusting player any time.
Why do you think I didn't name him? Why do you think I didn't name him? Why do you think I called him number 5 instead of naming him?
But what I will say is the way this has been handled by Arsenal Football Club is absolutely unacceptable. And if this was a Chelsea, a Manchester City, we'd be getting dragged through the newspapers of how much of a horrible, unclassy club we are. We're disgusting, blah blah blah. But yet, no one in proper media wants to talk about this about Arsenal. The way they've handled this situation has been terrible, and I think Arsenal fans should be ashamed of the club. Personally,
and a lot of them are. A lot of them are. Melina, what are your thoughts?
Melina's in the comments. I don't want to dig Melina out on this, but yeah, there's just for me, there's just no defending it. I mean, you look at players like Gylfi Sigurdsson, which I actually don't. I read something today. I'm not 100% sure this is true, but he didn't actually get found guilty of anything or charged. But Everton straight away just got rid of him. He might have been charged and found guilty, but it might be someone telling lies. But straight away they sorted it out.
Oh, look who's back! Look who's back!
Oh, Carlito. Carlito, did you rate a goalkeeper today? I saw on Twitter. If you did, you're a fraud. I mean, he is a fraud every day, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, Carlito. I heard you rate a certain fake Argentine.
Oh, here we go. Goalkeepers aren't human beings. I swear you said that some goalkeeper was unreal. I'm gonna find this Twitter post.
I can't take that comment seriously from someone who rates Alejandro Garnacho. Oh God, here we go again.
It's all right.
Send him the link. Send Melina and Carlito the link.
No, I'm not sending Carlito. Carlito can suck his whatever. He can suck his Garnacho cheese. No, I don't.
I want to cook him.
No, Melina can come on. Melina can come on because I like taking a piss out of Arsenal.
Send Melina the link.
You can send Melina. It's your channel. Send Melina the link. I'll send it. Don't worry.
No, it's on my phone, so I can't actually do much.
I'll send Melina the link. It's all right. It's fine.
No, honestly, if I had my laptop and my phone, then I would have sent her.
Carlito's not getting it though, just because he's a fraud. And anyway, Carlito would just talk about how the Americans threw our British tea into the ocean on this day. So I'd rather not have Carlito on.
Oh, fair enough. Fraud. I thought he'd support Chelsea though. Surely.
No, I'm talking about nipping that. So I don't understand. That's all right. Why is nipping? Can you send it? Because it's not sending.
Sure. I'm gonna go blank for a minute.
Wait, hold on. Actually, I can try and get it off your end. Anyway, let's see if Carlito's got a reply. We won the war. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You won the war because we let you win. Oh, by the way, Lippin, I will say, one of my best mates is an Arsenal fan. I sent him the number 5 thing, and he refuses to reply to me about it. So I'm calling him out on social media, well, in private, of course.
Did you check what I put in the private chat?
No, I didn't. Fair enough.
Because think about it. If it ties in with the whole marriage thing.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back onto the discussion of football before Mel comes on.
Yeah. So, I'm not gonna have people tell Melina to be quiet. Yeah.
Melina's not going to listen to Carlito. No one listens to Carlito. Carlito doesn't even listen to Carlito. If we're being
so, okay, does Carlito believe that Garnacho is actually a good footballer?
Does who believe who's a good footballer?
Carlito.
Does Carlito believe who's a good footballer? Nathan, what was your question?
Does Carlito actually believe that Garnacho is a good footballer?
Yes, unfortunately, he does. And
Jesus!
And the entire Blue Code Project podcast disagrees with him massively.
Did you see what I did just now?
Yes, everyone is against Carlito on this opinion. It stinks of nacho cheese.
Is this how they reacted?
Carlito, Chelsea also believe Timio Bakayoko was a good footballer. Doesn't mean we need to believe Chelsea. Chelsea also believe that Lukaku was a good enough footballer to pay 128 million for him.
Wait, no.
Chelsea are not always right.
Repeat that? Can you repeat that? Can you not? I did not just believe what I just heard. Carlito thought Chelsea were justified to pay £100 million for Lukaku.
No, he's not. No, he wasn't. But I'm saying that Chelsea believed that these players were good enough. I'm not saying Carlito believed it. I'm just saying the club's not always right. No, just Conte. Oh, not really. I mean, it was not just Conte because we got him under Chelsea. We got him the second time under Tuchel. Yeah, Tuchel. This is America's Chelsea, and I trust America's Chelsea.
Oh, God.
Lukaku does stink. He's stinky. He stinks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but they also believe Mudryk was a good footballer. Yeah. Say no more.
Let me guess. He also rates Marcus Rashford.
But Melina is about to sign Madueke and stink cuckoo. Yeah, exactly. They rated him cuckoo. What the hell? I mean, to be fair, I rated him cuckoo, so I can't say anything like that. But
yeah,
Nippin. Oh, let's talk about Noni to leave. Is Noni going to Arsenal, in your opinion?
I hope he doesn't.
You hope he does. Do you think he will?
Yes. And then we will have all those Arsenal fans come out saying, "Oh, we got one over Chelsea. He flopped it, but now he's doing well for us."
Why do you hope he doesn't leave to Arsenal?
I'm scared because I'm scared Teta could do something.
Teta can't do anything with most players.
I don't know. He got a tune out of Xhaka.
He makes Saka. He's starting to make good players that bang out.
So wait, I know it's unlikely to happen. So if say if Enzo Maresca manages to steal Bukayo Saka, like say we put 100 mil on the table, do you think he turns him into the footballer he is?
I think Enzo Maresca upgrades Bukayo Saka.
Does he turn him into a 15 plus goal / assist season winger?
I think Maresca would improve Saka than what Saka is now.
No. Do you think he turns him into a 15 goal a season forward?
But what is he now? Isn't he scoring 15 goals now?
Okay, does he take him to the next level? Like
Yeah, I think he does.
A 20 goal a season forward.
Yeah, I think he does. Melina, you have the link on Twitter. Carlito's not getting the link because he's a bitch. But Nippin, why are you scared of him going to Arsenal? Is it just because it's Arsenal, or are you scared because you like the player?
Because it's Arsenal, and I'm scared if what's his name, Arteta leaves, whoever comes in.
We've sent so many players to Arsenal that have gone and failed.
David Luiz, he won a trophy against us playing for them.
Yeah, but he stunk at Arsenal. He stunk the whole place out. They had to buy Willian out of their contract.
Did you send Carlito the link?
Oh, Melina must have sent him the link. If Melina sent him the link, Melina is officially a fraud.
Shall I let him in?
Why not?
Good evening.
Should I let him in? I instantly elevate your fucking content, shawarma. Fucking shawarma over here. God damn it. Melina!
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to the channel, Carlito.
Melina, are you now a newsbreaker? You're breaking news to me left and right? What's going on?
Well, Ryan, you trusted my source so much to tweet about it, so I don't know.
I did not tweet shit.
Ryan's tweeting subliminal emojis, and now he's in denial.
It is called cryptid language, and I didn't tweet anything. I am not a newsbreaker.
I need a little word with you, Carlito.
Hold on, before we do, I just want to say Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Happy 4th of July. Taxes.
Happy 4th of July, Carlito.
Yeah. What's up, Nippin? What's your beef?
You rate my beef, not with you, with Alejandro Garnacho.
Yeah, he's a good player.
You rate him?
Yes.
This is what you have to put up with, Matthew.
What do a lot of people?
Yeah, I know. I honestly, I should get paid to deal with Carlito's trashy opinion.
Come on. Why do you rate him?
I'd rather have Kudus, and we're going to get Kudus, so it's a mood issue.
No, it's Kudus. First learn to pronounce his name, Brian.
Kudus.
It's funny. Carlito is right like 90% of the time.
No,
and then he has this 10% of stinky opinions like Garnacho.
No, I have obscure opinions. There's a difference.
Can I just sorry, Nippin, I just want to get this Madueke thing out of the way. Yeah. So from my understanding, it's the fee and what I was told. Now please don't quote me word for word on this. The fee that Chelsea and we have agreed on is anywhere between 50 to 60 million. Is that good business for Chelsea or no?
Yes.
It has to be above 50, yes. But I mean, if we're paying 55 for getting 60 for Pedro, You're paying the
No,
same.
but the money that you're getting from Madueke deal, that's the money you're going to use now to go to West Ham and poach Mohamed Kudus, who rejected Tottenham and XYZ clubs. If you guys are aware, he was already offered around the globe, and I think he's turned down a move.
Why would he want to go to Tottenham after playing for West Ham, though, Melina?
Well,
they hate each other.
Mate, if Kudus goes to Tottenham, it's like
the thing is, I think he's desperate for game time.
Shit London clubs.
He'll start.
If he's desperate for game time, who does he start over at Chelsea? He doesn't start over Cole Palmer or Pedro Neto.
He'll be the third guy.
Well, wait, you don't think he starts? I think he's better than Pedro Neto. I don't like Pedro Neto. But I do have to say, his first season at West Ham, I think he's more of a one-season wonder type of player. This is based on his career so far at West Ham. The first season at West Ham, he was explosive. He was such a quality player to watch, always in the right areas at the right moments. The second season at West Ham, you see in big games and in small games when it matters, he is missing, and he had disciplinary issues this season. I'm not saying that every player is expelled from red cards or getting red cards should be shunned, but I think he has disciplinary issues at West Ham, and I also think he was just a one season wonder. Now, if Chelsea can get the best out of him,
there are good players who have disciplinary issues too. You know, Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, fucking Madueke and his attitude issues. Great.
Sergio
Great
Ramos
segue.
Sergio Ramos had a terrible disciplinary record.
But I mean, on Kudus, I do think West Ham in general have just had a horrific season. I don't think it's just on Kudus. West Ham, if it wasn't for the rest of the relegated sides being absolutely horrific, they would go down in most.
I agree.
Because they have been horrible.
Man, they need to buy a bunch of players. That's the problem. Why
can't they sell Jared Bowen? I would love Jared Bowen. He's incredible, man.
I mean, a few of my mates are West Ham fans, and the moment Lopetegui was even linked with them, I said this guy is going to get sacked by Christmas. It was a couple of weeks after, but I was largely right.
It was bound to happen.
Teams on the sideline.
I think he's a very passive manager, and Carlito, as someone who coaches football, I don't think he was playing players in the right positions. Yeah. He wasn't picking the best 11. He was picking favorites more than the best 11 based on performances and training. And you could see the system he was playing. It just wasn't suiting West Ham's strengths, if they had any to begin with.
I mean, there's passive on one side, Graham Potter's another one, and then there's psychopath on the other side, which is Mikel Arteta. So I think Maresca's somewhere in the middle. I will say this: Kudus. The wingers for me would be Kudus and Neto. Palmer attacking mid and Liam Delap up top. I think that's the lineup, man. And Kudus will start. I just don't think he's better than Neto. But this thing with Madueke, Melina, I got to ask you, where's he going to play?
KJ, big up KJ.
If he's look at Nippa just sipping up. Where's he going to play, Melina?
Well, so the thing with Madueke, I know it was reported that he wanted more game time because of Chelsea's situation in terms of, now that you're getting Gittins and whatnot. And I'm not putting any disrespect to Gittins because I've watched him at Dortmund. I said he's a quality signing and I wish we were in for him, but unfortunately that's not the case. And we're back to our big brothers at Chelsea. In terms of Madueke, I do think that he's someone to bring competition with Bukayo Saka. The only reason why I'm hesitant and really against this deal is because of not Madueke the footballer, but it's Madueke the person, the attitude. I think it will be a lot of issues in the dressing room, perhaps similar to a Aubameyang type of situation, and I'm very reluctant to have that toxicity in the dressing room. Now, if this kid can mature and get his shit together and clean up his act personality-wise, it would be great. But I guess you can't have the best of both worlds. And, you go back to the days of John Terry. They were not nice people. They were rough people personality-wise. I don't think they had the cleanest attitude or the cleanest hearts. But on the pitch, they did the talking. And I think that's what matters. I also do want to add a slight dig here. The only player to score against Arsenal in Chelsea's team up until 2021 is Madueke. So I do think that against us, he was really good. And, you have to give it to him in the Club World Cup games that I saw him play. He's really fast. He gets in the right areas. And I think even some games he'll start ahead of Bukayo Saka. I do think it's been 3 seasons now where we've ran, Saka down to the ground. Carlito will argue that he drags himself to the ground.
Drag, cut back.
But yeah, drag, cutback. But I do think Madueke is a good signing, and I'm just a bit concerned on the price tag. But hopefully, we sacrificed Sterling for you guys, so take that into consideration. I'm now hearing Sterling could be going to Barcelona, which is interesting. Could that be a free transfer to Barcelona?
Sterling? No.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday that Sterling was.
No, Rashford.
No, Raheem Sterling.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Are you kidding?
Imagine this. Imagine no.
No, I'm serious.
No. I had to bring up this Barcelona thing because they failed to sign Nico Williams.
Oh, wait, Nip, and that guy was passed around. This Nico Williams was passed around more than Astrid Wet on a Saturday night. this guy was like, what? They had him in a Chelsea edit. They had him in an Arsenal edit. They had him in a Barcelona edit. And then all of a sudden he chooses to stay at Athletic Bilbao because Barcelona are broke.
They can hold that.
Okay, but what I don't understand, guys, is why is he saying, oh, it was my dream to stay at Atletico Bilbao? If Barcelona had money, you would have changed your tune immediately. I hate when players do that. It's like, this was my dream to stay here. No, it wasn't. Who are you lying to? Like, how dumb do you think people are to believe it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this whole Nico Williams thing is hilarious. You have that absolute fraud, Gerard Romeo, who calls himself a journalist. He was like, Nico Williams to Barcelona, 99.9% done.
Let me say something here. I am happy that this is this isn't about Nico Williams. This is me laughing at Barcelona. Like Kalma Kunde, Kalma Rafinha.
Oh yeah.
How does it feel to have a taste of your own medicine now?
Yeah, Laporta is going to be stress eating the rest of the weekend.
Hold that. You see this? Spam L's in the chat. All of you, spam L's in the chat. 1 like equals 1 love to Barcelona.
Oh, remember they even struggled to register Dani Olmo in January, right? I remember they had to look for loopholes to figure out how to register Dani Olmo because he could have been up for sale. So
he wanted.
Honestly, at some point, this club is going to run out of loopholes.
Yeah.
He wanted assurances that he would be. By the way, his video is completely full of shit. He wanted to go to Barcelona, but they couldn't.
Exactly.
That he wouldn't be.
Oh, my heart and soul was at Athletic Bilbao. If Barcelona had the money, you would have been gone and saying,
I love this home shit. Oh, I'm staying home with my Basque country
my
people.
ass.
It's a fucking lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell you one thing. You can clip this all you want. He does not see out that deal at Athletic Bilbao. He ends up somewhere else.
Wait, so hold on. Now. If that's the case, though, he his agent and him worked out that his release clause is now doubled, and I think that's around 90 million or something, right? And in La Liga, I believe you have to pay all that money up front. He's now signed this deal. I think he's hoping for a move out. We saw John Duran. He left Villa. He went to Saudi, got the bag, and now look, he's at Mourinho's Fenerbahce. And Fenerbahce are such a fucked up club. I just saw a video today of St. Maximum saying that they're so bad in football that they tried to force him to dope before games, which is crazy.
What?
Yeah, it's on Twitter. I'll send it.
The Turkish league is another level.
Yeah, they're really messed up. And that rivalry in that Turkish league, Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, these people don't hold back anything. It's worse than the France, the French people say the French ultras. I think it's worse. These Turkish fans, they have no limits.
Is it worse than? Is it worse than the old firm where you have Rangers and Celtic?
I don't know about that one.
I'll tell you. I'll do you one better. Boca River. One of my best friends goes to that game every year.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Oh, it's a war zone. They have, they've chain link fences that keep the fans separated. Wow.
Mate, just watching the Boca Benfica game in the Club World Cup, that was dangerous enough.
Yeah, those people are fucking wild.
Like Argentinians, not to be rude to a lot of you, some of you are mental.
Yeah,
absolutely mental. Like the same with it's same with the Turkish. I remember going to the Chelsea Galatasaray game.
Oh God,
the Champions League, and that was probably the worst, like most ridiculous away support ever. Like Chelsea and Galatasaray have no history of.
Yeah, but they
were just they were absolutely mental, and I'm like, there's me as like a 13-year-old kid thinking, what the fuck am I doing here?
Hey, Matt, let me ask you this question. Why do they not burn their hands when they do those flares? Those things look dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
it looks like the stadium's on fire.
I mean, I love how. I wonder how they fireproof their stadiums that much, because
I don't know. I can't imagine it's always proof, 100% proof.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys something? If we're going back to this topic of Noni, I do want to ask unbiased, honest opinion.
Yeah.
Like hand on heart. Do you guys think Madueke is better than Rodrigo?
Rodrigo.
I'm not. Rodrigo. No. Yes, but I'm not saying put the trophies aside. I'm saying player for player, tip for tap, because it's the same position. But I believe Madueke is more versatile than what Rodrigo brings to the table.
All right, I'll answer this question by incorporating the transfer fee into it, because Madueke is going to cost probably $55 million. Rodrigo is going to cost almost double that. Is Rodrigo $40 million better than Madueke? The answer is absolutely not. In fact, I think Rodrigo might struggle. He's more of a product of a great system and a great team and a great culture and a bunch.
You have to build the system around him.
Yeah, but he's not integral to it. It's another reason why he's leaving is because he's always been a bridesmaid. But
yeah,
do I think he's $40 million better? No, I do not. But he's probably. I
hear that, Carlito. I hear that, but then there's built for a system, but then there's shit. That doesn't work in any system.
Okay, I don't think Madueke is garbage. Trust me, guys. We've had Sterling. We've seen garbage.
Yeah. I mean, for me, Madueke is one who have a game where he's absolutely on fire. He looks like one of the best players in the world. No one is stopping him. Even Thiago Silva on his day is going to struggle to keep up Madueke. And then there's some games where he just looks like Raheem Sterling.
I think he's more of a selfish player, though. Some of the games I've seen in the Premier League, he's had the opportunity to pass to someone who's closer on goal, and he was selfish, and it costed Chelsea several games. You guys drew,
and that is one of the reasons why I think Pedro Neto is better. Pedro Neto also works so much more defensively than Madueke. I remember me, Carlito, Jesters, in the first part of the season, constantly criticising Madueke for not helping out his right back.
Yeah.
And there was at least 2 or 3 goals that we conceded because.
But that's the difference between you guys and us right now, as it stands. Our defense is more organized than your defense currently. I don't think that's a main concern. But I am going to say, at this moment, our defense is organized. Next season I can see Saliba leaving to a Liverpool or Real Madrid. I don't think we'll have the same defense.
Why does AJ's photo look like a college
Arsenal? You think Saliba leaves Arsenal?
I'm very confident that he leaves Arsenal next season. And in fact, Liverpool, from my understanding, Liverpool have already poached the player, tapped up the player, and that's the reason. One of the main reasons why they provided Van Dijk with only a 2-year extension, because when those 2 years finish, they have William Saliba possibly on their hands. But I think it will be a fight between Liverpool and Real Madrid. I also think that Konate will end up at Real Madrid and Saliba could go to Liverpool. I can see that happening as well. But that's still another year to go. So
Melina,
at this
I'm gonna
moment,
go
we
after
have
this.
no striker. We're looking like a mess.
I want to ask you one question before I leave. I'm gonna go to the gym. So I got this question for you: is Arteta going to get fired?
No. For what reason?
For this?
For this
For not
party
winning.
stuff?
No, not for not winning. For being the most insufferable man in football.
For the party stuff, or not related to that?
Yes.
Oh no, I don't. I do not think so.
Why?
Really?
Why?
There's a lot of legal implications around that, Ryan.
You're being I'm sorry. Look, if I'm an owner of a football club and I find out that you're enabling a convicted, I'm not going to say the word.
He's charged, Nippon, but he's not found guilty yet. So there's not a registered conviction as of yet. He has his day in court on August 5th or 4th. I'm not defending him, by the way. I'm just saying this is the facts of the matter. He has to go to court. There's not a registered conviction in relation to these 5 charges at this moment. By the way, the same thing happened to us under Arsene Wenger with Robin Van Persie. I don't know if you guys remember this at the time. But I believe Van Persie got found not guilty after taking it to court. But the same thing happened where they couldn't suspend the player. And, I think the reason
wait. This is news to me. What happened with Robin Van Persie?
Yeah, when Van Persie was at Arsenal, there was a scandal involved with the same similar charges.
What? The R word? I'm not going to say it on stream.
Yeah. I don't know how many. I think it was only one woman that came out and said that accused him of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to comment on it publicly. We have this debate off camera a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do think.
Yeah, let's leave this for off camera stuff.
I do think it's a very. I think the way the case has been handled just looks really stinky.
Yeah.
But the just one point I want to add to this is for the CPS, or I think it's called CPS, right, in the UK. For them to give it to prosecution services, that means there has to have been enough viable evidence for it to be accepted by prosecution services. You can't take a case into court without enough evidence to prosecute. There's no point in doing that. You're wasting the justice system's time. I do think that there was enough evidence for bringing this matter to court legally. And this player is still on bail, by the way. I don't know why they haven't revoked his bail. That's a whole different topic. But I don't think the club could have suspended him because they didn't know until 2 weeks ago, apparently, that this was going to happen. And that's why the contract extension, when they were talking about contract extensions, apparently someone told the club that this was going to be the outcome, or likely that and no club wanted to buy him because he had this luring on to him. Similar to when I believe Basuma had a case luring on to him. But then Basuma got the move to Spurs. And I think his situation was not 5 counts of that word. They couldn't terminate his contract because it has to be a mutual agreement, which they didn't have. They couldn't suspend him because he wasn't charged at the time. And they couldn't sell him because clubs were too scared to buy someone with this lingering around their name. And then when his contract ended, that's the only way the club could get rid of him. But the stupid part is, why did we even offer him a new contract in the first place? And for me, that's where you blame the club. Also, I do want to call out, the football club I support here is the bullshit for the club to say we're delaying the announcement of Martin Zubamendi in respect to Diego Jota is complete bullshit. And you have to be a fool to believe that. Yesterday, sure, you can accept that because Jota passed away yesterday. Out of respect, you're not going to announce. But for them to give a farewell to Tomiyasu and not announce Zubamendi, it's because of Thomas Partey this news coming out today. For the club to say we're not announcing this in respect of Diego Jota is ridiculous. And I think that's baffling, honestly.
Melina, to be honest with me on this, do you think the club are being cowards?
Yeah, I 100%. I do think that the management, and like Ryan and I were talking privately, I do think everyone in the higher ups has mud on their face, and it's embarrassing that we even went the step or the efforts to offer this guy a contract extension, knowing that he had such situation lingering. We didn't know if he was going to be charged, right? But he had this still lingering on him because they knew he was still on bail. You can't tell me they didn't know he was still on bail when clearly they know.
So hold on. There's two things that are a little confusing to me here. Number one is that Sigurdsson and Ben Mendy were both suspended from the team without being convicted. So I don't know why.
But they were charged, right? They were suspended when they were charged, right? I think Matt was saying earlier.
Well, maybe the timeline there is fair, but if I was a club, I would ask him to simply step away from the team by virtue of conduct detrimental to the team. The other thing, and this might be a little bit more.
How can you do that in the UK based on employment law? He's still in contract. He's still registered as a player.
Well, my argument is you don't have to suspend him to just choose not to play him.
Yeah. The other thing I want to ask is this, and this is a little more sinister, but I don't put anything past a $1 billion business. I don't put anything past them. In order to accumulate that type of wealth, you had to have gotten your hands dirty. It's impossible to have clean money like that.
Yeah.
So my question is this: is there another side of this where him rejecting the contract offer removed the protection that Arsenal had over him?
Are you trying to play devil's advocate here?
I'm just asking a question.
I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that, but I think it worked out that the time. I guess it's sus because the timing of it. All of a sudden, he leaves Arsenal. I don't think
there's such a thing as coincidences. I think that this is very convenient.
Yeah,
but my understanding from what was reported,
comment on it on stream.
Fabrizio said that the talks broke down in contract extensions only 2 weeks ago, and this was very recent. And I think 2 weeks ago was when CPS gave the case over to the magistrate court in the UK.
Well, anyways, he'll have his day in court, and Arsenal will have their day in the court of public opinion. Okay. See you guys. See you, Nippin.
Can you shout out your socials before you drop?
My socials? I work for Matt's podcast, and I work for Matt Ball, and he's a fucking fraud.
What an exit.
Yeah, Blue Coat Project podcast, guys, check that out. Melina, we need you back on in the summer at some point.
Transfer stream, sure. I think the last pod I came on was Chelsea Arsenal.
I tell you what, if Noni goes to Arsenal, we're getting you.
Oh no! Oh no! I need backup. I can't just come solo.
Oh, you can hold on, Melina. You can invite an Arsenal fan. They've just got to be sane like you, which is hard to find. That's the problem.
Yeah. Maybe Jared can pretend to be one. He's pretty sane.
But all I'm going to say on the Arsenal thing is I've texted 3 of my mates that are Arsenal fans just about the situation. None of them have replied or want to.
Oh my God.
They're fully avoiding me. I'm like, to the point of my mate tagged me in something saying about, I think, the ticket for tonight's game in the Club World Cup. Down to like £8. He's like, I was like, you want to talk about football club? Well, reply to my DM then. And he hasn't done it.
No, I answered. As soon as I was at work when my friends like party, and I'm like, what do you mean party? And I saw the message and I just froze. I'm like, oh my God. Like the timing of everything, it's just terrible. And I think the last thing I want to say about this topic is the women that came out and spoke about their situations. I think they're the ones that not getting enough respect in this matter from media, of course. So I think that's just the point I want to end off is the woman affected by this situation. My heart goes out to you, and I hope justice is served on its day in court. When I think it's on the 4th or 5th, a month from now. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, let us change subject a little bit. Melina, I want to ask you. What do you think of Chelsea's business so far this summer?
Can I just say, I remember I was on a stream last time here, and you told me Chelsea were going to sign Benjamin Sesko and Victor Gyökeres.
No, when did I don't like that.
Yes, I remember. I was on the stream, or I was in the chat.
Oh, Gyökeres, I'll fully give you, but Sesko, I think he's shit.
Okay, I think it was Gyökeres. For me, Chelsea's business this season has been solid. A lot of outgoings with the junk that you have. I also think there's still more business to come. But I think the disclaimer here is the reason why you did most of your business early is because your manager wanted to have these players in for the Club World Cup. I believe you're playing tonight, right?
Yeah, against Palmeiras.
So I think today is Joao Pedro's debut. And I believe Carlito was telling me that Caicedo and Pedro Neto is not playing today. Neto is still grieving the loss of
I think Maresca said regarding Neto that it's up to him if he wants to play. He's not going to force him to play. But I don't know. I look at how.
I have a funny feeling if he plays and if he scores, he will dedicate his goal to Diogo Jota.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice.
I mean, I watched the Fluminense versus Al Hilal game earlier, and both Cancelo and Ruben Neves were just in.
I saw that. That set me in waterworks because you can see the emotions. And I believe it's from the Portugal team, and also we know Jota played for Wolves, so some of the players from there. Mm-hmm. It was very tragic news, and to lose both of your children on the same day, it's really heartbreaking.
I don't
very young kids.
Now, when I say this, I don't want to sound insensitive, but particularly Cancelo had a terrible game. And whether it's the obvious reasons their head isn't in the right space or not, I do worry that if Pedro Neto, who, from what it sounds like, is even more of a friend of Jota than other Portuguese teammates, that does worry me a little bit. Of course, it depends on players and players' mentality. I remember Lampard when his mum passed away, and he played literally the weekend, and I scored a goal. And different players have different mentalities, and I think Pedro Neto's got to decide if he's ready and able to play, because he has been.
Did he not score?
He's been playing.
You brought up the game which Lampard played on the weekend. His mum died. Did he not dedicate the goal he scored to his mum?
Yeah, he did. But
everyone deals with it differently, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think going on to Neto, I think he has been, probably our best player in the Club World Cup so far. He's been probably, bar maybe a lap Caicedo. He's looked really good, and I think obviously if he didn't play tonight, he'll be a miss. But I don't hold any blame whatsoever. I think everyone deals with these issues differently, and I can say if that was my best mate, I don't think I'd be playing a game of football or going into work the next day. I don't think I could be in the right mind frame for it. But we could be losing. Well, Caicedo's out, suspension, but Lavia also might be out because some people said it was illness, which was Carlito. So Carlito was wrong.
Course. Oh yeah, he didn't train in 2 days, right?
Is his season over?
I think he's got a small muscular problem, and he said it was iffy. I mean, he was in training on Friday. That's Thursday.
Matt, is his season over?
Yeah. Who, Lavia?
Yeah.
It's not even started yet.
Pre-season not started
but this is Chelsea. But this is Chelsea Football Club. No.
Guys, you could play Thiago Silva in the next round if you get through.
I'm dreading it. And that bloody goalkeeper. I was watching the game. I was like, even when you get past Thiago Silva, you've got to get past this 44-year-old goalkeeper.
He's good.
How does a 44-year-old goalkeeper move like that?
But Thiago Silva gonna have the game of his life against Chelsea.
Honestly, I really wanted Al Hilal because I thought Koulibaly's useless at the best of times.
Yeah.
I thought we could do.
Yeah, but Koulibaly just knocked out Man City.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, that game was crazy. Like, what? What happened to Man City? They just found out their whole system.
No, but Man City is just the same. Man City haven't really improved. Everyone's talking about how great Man City's deals are. I don't think Man City have improved whatsoever. Sure, the players they've lost in terms of last season,
Walker,
Walker, KDB. These players are not the same level. They might become the same level
older,
eventually.
yeah.
But then Nuri isn't like it's not on the same side, but he's not better than what Walker was.
Do you not rate that range? That Rangers
Well, he's good.
guy?
That Rangers, he's good for America.
Yeah, Rangers, but he's not a Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, but De Bruyne was incredible.
Shirky, I think is very overrated.
I agree with that.
Then why did if he's overrated, why did Man City?
They haven't signed that well.
You mean they haven't really signed level raisers?
No, everyone's saying, "Oh, Man City are definitely going to fight for top."
But I think this Rangers is an underrated signing. I do think this Rangers is going to be a name we're going to come back and talk about in the future. I think honestly,
I think Man City are just making the same mistakes as they did last season. They don't look that different. Chelsea in this Club World Cup, I can see differences.
You're addressing the issues you had, and it's mainly in defense that Chelsea had significant issues last season. And I do want to say you guys still have to get a goalkeeper, which is now we're back to square one of Chelsea's love fetish for goalkeepers.
Well, I am convinced Chelsea and Mike Maignan is not over.
What?
It's not over. It's Melina. It is.
He literally rejected you guys.
He didn't reject us. He was happy to come, man. AC Milan wanted to play stupid money with a guy that's on 1 year.
Yeah, you refused to pay the money.
We refused to pay the money.
We refused to be bullied, Melina.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
But these stupid Italian clubs, when they want our players, they don't want to pay the money. It pisses me off.
The amount of players we've given AC Milan, Pulisic for like 20 million euros, Loftus-Cheek, we've given Tomori, we've given Tammy Abraham. We've given them so much for little. So the least we can do is have a relationship back. But what I think's going on is I think Chelsea have said no, which Mike Maignan is still wants.
You don't want to get bullied by AC Milan.
But Mike still wants to leave. He still hasn't signed a contract. His contract will still run out next year. Chelsea have currently briefed that they're not getting a goalkeeper. Then they recently briefed that they wanted ter Stegen.
I have a proposal for you. I have a goalkeeper.
I'm convinced that this is how it will go. Chelsea are continuously trying to put pressure on AC Milan. Then I think towards the end of the window, maybe the last week, Chelsea will put a final take it or leave it offer to Milan when it's the last chance for them to get any money. Because I think
or else he leaves on a free, right?
I think you'll see something where Mike Maignan will say, I am not signing a contract no matter what happens. So they'll see that he's leaving. They'll either go, we'll take the money now, or we will let him go on a free. To which I think Chelsea, all right, it's risky.
You don't want to lose a player on the last year of their contract on a free.
I think it's risky for Chelsea to let him potentially go on a free, because I think there is more competition that can come in. But I think Chelsea will do the groundwork from that moment on to get it done January 1st. I don't think they'll allow. I think they will probably not allow anyone else to get involved. But I think these ter Stegen rumours are purely just.
I have a proposal to make.
They're bluffs to put as much pressure on AC Milan as possible.
I have a proposal to make with a goalkeeper, English. I think he's very good. Cheap. Aaron Ramsdale. Talk to me.
You can.
What? Oh my God, guys!
He's at Southampton.
What?
Southampton.
Melina, I'd rather play Penders as number one.
He's better than Petrovic. Come on.
Oh my God.
Petrovic is bad. Come on, guys. You're being biased.
Mate, Ramsdale's
good.
Ramsdale's relegated so many clubs.
Hey, one second. I need to say one more thing. The January window, and I'll pull up the article if you don't believe me. Chelsea were interested in Ramsdale, I believe, last summer. And in the January window, when last summer is when he was still at Arsenal, Chelsea wanted Ramsdale. It came out by The Athletic. You can't tell me The Athletic is not a reliable journalist page. Don't hit me with that argument, both of you. If Chelsea didn't see any value in Ramsdale, Maybe, sure, you can argue their interest has shifted to Mike Mignon, which I think is a very great goalkeeper. But against us, you can say otherwise. But I do think that, you can say Premier League proven to some extent. But yes, you're going to say, oh, but Ramsdale was relegated 3 times with the same club, blah, 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 blah. I do think he is a massive upgrade on what you have now. And you cannot, both of you, tell me otherwise. Thoughts?
Ramsdale being an upgrade.
Yeah, on Petrovic. I think Ramsdale is a significant upgrade on what you already have. I think he's better than Robert Sanchez, and
I will fully agree with you that he is better than Robert Sanchez, because I think Nippin is better. Nippin is better than Robert Sanchez. I think Melina will play better than Robert Sanchez. In terms of this,
she probably
serious.
won't. She probably won't, because she'll probably deliberately try and get us relegated.
Nippin, I would rather transfer Hannah Hampton from Chelsea women to Chelsea men, because she's better than Robert Sanchez any day of the week. Yeah, but I don't think Robert Sanchez is the best goalkeeper at Chelsea.
No.
I think he's the 4th best goalkeeper at Chelsea. I think Petrovic is the best goalkeeper we have at the moment. But
I don't think Petrovic will stay as number 1 goalkeeper at Chelsea. If you were to sign someone
he's already gone. He's basically gone.
Where? When?
Sunderland reportedly have agreed a £25 million offer.
Apparently Sunderland have signed Jordan Henderson as well.
What? Wow, he's really old, Henderson. I think 35, 36 now.
But
35.
Well, did you hear Burnley are interested in Walker?
I saw that. No, it's already announced today. Walker to Burnley. Kyle Walker gone to Burnley. Everybody in Burnley, hide your wives.
Kyle Walker's gone to Burnley.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to quickly bring in some breaking news. Pedro Neto has arrived with the Chelsea squad.
Oh no!
So
what does that mean? So does that mean Joao Pedro doesn't start?
My guess is Pedro Neto is at least in the squad, whether he's
on the bench. Okay.
Whether he's in.
When do we get the lineup?
Within the next 15-20 minutes, I guess.
Okay. Are you guys doing a watch along for the game or no?
I'm watching it on what I'm on now. So probably.
How do you get it, on YouTube or DAZN?
DAZN.
Is it free?
Yeah, it's on DAZN free view, whatever it's called.
DAZN YouTube or on the actual DAZN?
It's on the actual website. You can. I think you can make a free account, and then.
No, I pay for DAZN because we will get our Champions League games on there, like throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean the only thing we got on DAZN is Women's Champions League, which we're not going to mention, by the way. That's banned subject on here.
Why not?
Why? Why is it banned?
Because Matthew's jealous we finally won another Champions League.
Well, I guess London is purple then, isn't it? Because we haven't won it in the women's, we won it in the men's. You've won it in the women's, but you haven't won it in the men's. So
women's twice.
What does red and blue make if you fuse it together?
Pause. We're the only Premier League team in the history of ever to win it twice, not just once, but twice. And can I just say, I'll stop talking about this subject just after this. Renee, I want to fire Jonas Sandoval just so that I can hire Renee the second time. It was so good to get rid of him. His toxic energy and getting rid of Vivian Medema because of him, it was a huge loss for us. And so the women's team has more balls than the men's team. And I would have played Alicia Russo in the men's team any day of the goddamn week possible, because she would have done a shift better than Trossard as the 9 or Havertz as a 9. Even an injured Gabriel Jesus.
You're welcome. You're welcome about Kai Havertz, by the way.
I like that signing. I am not against the Kai Havertz signing. But what I was against was Raheem Sterling not putting any effort when he was given game time. Acting like, oh, I'm here to make a difference.
We just we just do what we do best with our worst players.
Giving us your scraps. Thanks, Chelsea.
You're very welcome, and long may it continue. But hey, but you keep giving us, but you've given us yours.
Not
too,
really.
To be fair.
No.
You gave us Giroud.
Yeah.
You gave us Ashley Cole.
Wait, hold on, pause. Giroud was already finished, well, semi-finished when he was with us. You know, like
Mate,
yeah,
it was not finished. You guys did not appreciate Giroud.
Stop.
Giroud.
That's
Giroud
not
is
true. He was crap for us. He was supposed to be the main guy.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
I'm not having this, Melina. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, you guys are being
Giroud finished.
He was rubbish.
Come on.
For us.
Giroud was one of my favorite players at Chelsea.
What? No, you're talking about France Giroud. I'm talking about Premier League Giroud.
I'm talking about Chelsea Giroud. I'm talking about Chelsea Giroud was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he was already finished at us. Nippon saying we gave you garbage. You guys turned Giroud against us in Baku. I don't even want to talk about Baku. Fucking Unai Emery. It was the worst. It was the worst time for us.
Where's my Eden Hazard sign?
Oh my god.
Hey, KJ, I sent you the link.
Oh, don't invite KJ on.
I think you guys did you guys see that tweet today about being potentially transfer banned or something from Nizar Kinsilla?
Well, what's Nizar chatting crap now?
Nizar chats
he
bollocks.
basically wrote some essay saying that the same restrictions apply for 3 seasons if Chelsea don't sort out registration of players, and I guess your squad and financial limits are past each other. Giroud, I guess you need to sell a lot of players before you can do anything.
Giroud literally little broed you, man, in Baku.
Yeah, I'm not. I hate Baku. I will. Every time people say the word Baku in general, like a holiday destination, I think of that game. Like, that's how much it traumatized me. Oh, man. What a time, man. Hey, what's your guys... I know you'll do this stream later, Nippon, but I do want to ask, what's your guys' top 4 predictions for this season?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Unbiased top 4 predictions. Matthew's going to say Chelsea to win the league. Go on, Matthew. It's okay. You can say Chelsea to win the league. I won't judge you.
So, were you in top 4 or top 5?
Oh, yeah, it's top 5. Sorry. Because, no, top 5 is dependent on UCL, right? UCL coefficient. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. Top 5.
Say it's top 5. So,
right.
If Newcastle.
Okay.
4th, Manchester City.
What?
3rd, Arsenal.
Oh my God!
Second, Chelsea, and miles in front, Liverpool.
Again, you think Liverpool keep the title, retain?
I just can't see. I can't see anyone catching. If you got now, I will say this as a caveat. This depends on which striker you sign. If you sign Sesko, you are finishing below us. If you sign Gyökeres, you might finish above us.
I want Sesko. I don't want Gyökeres.
Sesko is the most overrated footballer on the planet.
You don't want... No, Matt, this is good for us. Listen, you want Sesko and not Gyökeres.
Yes.
Please.
That means we have free reign over Gyökeres.
And over both of them, I want Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins Hive is alive. Me and Ryan.
Caveat: if Ollie Watkins signs for Arsenal will finish in 6th.
6th? What? Nippon, what's your top 5?
Man's going around signing Christian Norgard and thinking it's a good signing.
Hey, Norgard is a good signing.
It's just another Trossard.
It's better than having an alleged
not good enough
in the club. Nippon, what's your top 5 prediction? Me, I think we'll win the league. Finally, we'll win the league. It has to be this season, guys. Last season was just a practice run.
I thought it was
I think I'll be the next Bond actor.
Nippon, what's your top 5?
Jordan, I've sent you the link if you want to join.
I think he's going live for your game. Nippon, tell me your top 5.
No. He asked me for the link.
Oh, okay.
My top 5. Can you hear me, by the way?
Whoa, Julian McMahon passed away, the actor from Fantastic Four. and
A
most
lot of
wanted.
people are dying.
Oh no.
Guys, Chelsea lineup is out.
Oh, let's go!
Go on,
Joao
let's
Pedro
hear it. Let's hear
debut.
it.
In goal, Robert
Petrovic.
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
As the back four, Cucurella,
Mhm.
Colwill, Chalobah, Gusto.
Malo Gusto, good.
In
Mucho gusto.
midfield,
Here we go, guys.
Reece James,
What?
Enzo Fernandez, and Cole Palmer.
Why is Reece James in midfield?
Why?
In left wing.
Oh no, Nkunku started.
In left wing, Nkunku. Right
Delap
wing,
and Palmer.
Neto, and then Delap and Palmer as well.
I want Neto to score today.
What happened to Pedro? Is he on the bench? Where's Pedro?
Joao Pedro is on the bench.
Oh wow.
Madueke is on the bench.
What's his shirt number?
Lavia is not
Joao
in the
Pedro
squad.
is 20-something, no?
So I imagine Reece James is in midfield. Maybe Nkuku's in the middle, Palmer's on the right, and I know Palmer played on the left the other last game.
Do you guys think Madueke will get any minutes in this game? I don't think so.
Because
if he gets injured, then we won't buy him. So
it depends on what the result is. Let's see if Estavio is playing.
Oh, that guy's been running his mouth, Matt. He's been calling himself the Spanish Messi.
Estavio is playing.
Ryan doesn't like him. Ryan can't stand him.
we have clashed on that. I mean, Ryan is.
I agree with Ryan on this stance though.
Jordan, I've sent you the link if you want to join.
What do you specifically agree with Carlito on?
I think this guy isn't ready for the Premier League, and for him to be saying out there with chest, double D chest, saying he's the Spanish Messi, I think that's very large boots to fill, and I don't think he's anywhere near that caliber of a player.
I mean, Carlito doesn't just say that he's not ready for the Premier League now. He thinks he'll never be ready for the Premier League.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a stretch. But Ryan did say he doesn't think he's ready anywhere near now for the Premier League.
But I think if you ask most sensible Chelsea fans, if you ask for our expectations on Estavio, is he plays, for me, he plays 1,500 minutes. He has a decent enough performances.
And, you mean basically backup come in when you need it.
And most importantly, he improves physically because he needs to adapt. He's still a child. He's still in a child's body.
Yeah.
But that can change very quickly. As long as he has the good routine, the good management, he can change. And I think he'll play in cup matches. He'll play off the bench. But I don't think he's going to get lots and lots of minutes, and that's absolutely fine because at the end of the day, this kid is 18. He's got plenty of time. He doesn't need to come in and smash it straight away.
Hit the ground running right away.
And people moan about this, the Ballon d'Or, the Spanish Messi and the Ballon d'Or, and
he did say it though.
And the one day I'd like to play in Spain I dream to play in Spain. I don't care about that because at the end of the day, if he wants to win the Ballon d'Or and he wants to play in Spain, which I imagine is Real Madrid or Barcelona, then he has to be one of the best footballers for Chelsea. He probably has to win Chelsea the Champions League, the Premier League, and whatever.
Yeah.
And then
you'll
go.
Okay.
I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you'll have to go for 100+ million, like another winger that went to Real Madrid for over 100 million. And if he does that, fine. You can go to Spain because it suits all parties. But
I don't think he's that type of player that you're building to sell. I don't see that.
No, but I think the way the club runs is, of course, there are players that are potentially unsellable. But if someone comes in and puts 120 on for Estavio eventually, I see this club just taking the money and investing that in the rest of the team. Because don't forget, we are stacked in this position. You've got Kenji Payet.
I can still speak, by the way, through the microphone. You just can't see my face.
Cool, Nippin. We've got Kendry Pires, who will be going on loan to Strasbourg.
I saw that, yeah.
And
I've seen him play some games.
And again, I think he's still got to grow, and he's going to take time.
Very raw player.
But you've got Giovanni Quenda, who's gone from he signed. He'll be coming in next summer. And actually, I think he's technically more ready to start now than Estavio is. So we've got plenty of players in these wide, especially these wide and attacking midfield areas. That if we sell Estavio for 120 million, so what? We got a Quenda or a Pires to come in, and then we can invest that in another position. Or invest
I also think the other thing I want to say, Matt, sorry to interrupt, is the game that Carlito kind of judged him at wasn't a game for Chelsea. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was a game where he played for Brazil, and he judged him based on his international duty performance. As you know, some players can play very good on...
Is this a Estavio guy? Where's he from? Is he Brazilian? Is he Argentine?
Yeah, Brazilian.
Nice. Has he received his first senior cap yet?
Yes. But I mean, my point as well at the moment is a lot of people are judging him right now. And I think for him, actually, I brought this up to opinion of my mate. It must be very hard right now to be playing in a tournament when you already know as soon as it's done you're going to Chelsea.
Too much pressure on you.
I think it's not pressure. I think it's more of a fact that is his mind really at Palmeiras? Is it looking at, I'm going to be in Chelsea in a month's time?
Yeah.
So I just don't think his mind is in the right way to go and be at his top performance.
This game for Estavio is basically a training session, getting to know his new teammates.
I just think he's thinking, when can I step into Chelsea? I don't think his mind's on the Club World Cup particularly, and that's why I don't think he's been that's why I think he's dropped off a little bit. Of course, in some games the physicality is too much, but even against the Brazilian team, I can't remember which Brazilian team. Was it Botafogo they played? I think it was Botafogo. They played. He didn't even look as good in that, which you'd argue is the same level that he's been playing at before. I just think mentally his mind's not in the right place, because you see it with loads of players. When there's a move, when a player's linked to the transfer,
you're focused on the move.
They focus on the move, and they just their head goes. I think that is the situation. I think, unfortunately, there are. I'm not saying Carlito but there are too many Chelsea fans that are like, he has to come in and hit the ground running, and because he's not hitting the ground running in the Club World Cup, this is a disaster and he's going to flop. Like, no, he's 18. He doesn't need to come. He doesn't need to come and hit the ground running. He doesn't need to. We've got plenty of players to share the load, that he doesn't need to come in and score 15, 20 goals straight away. He just needs to develop, get physically into the Premier League, and then we'll see how he goes next season, or maybe the season after. And it might be that he might need a loan. Now, I think the problem is his own team have built his profile up so much that it's probably hard to send him out on loan because of how high his profile is. Kind of like how with Mudryk, him being an £80 million player, it's hard to send an £80 million player on loan because of the aesthetics of it.
And now because of the allegations that,
that's a whole different
the whole situation Mudryk has. I think it's going to be difficult to sell him, similar to what the garbage we have.
I think we will mutually agree at termination. And I wouldn't be surprised.
So if you do that termination thing, the player either you have to pay the remainder of his contract, correct? Unless the player refuses the remainder of the funds they're owed, like Jorginho when he left Arsenal, or Willian when he left us.
I'm interested to see what's in the contract, because I'm pretty sure that there are probably things in contracts, the such circumstances like doping, where maybe the club has more power in terms of. I do think they will either go to Shakhtar or they will go to Mudryk, and maybe legally there might be some more troubles for Mudryk down the path, because I think Chelsea will not want to have all the money that they're putting into Mudryk lost on the books, because for FFP, I don't know how that works. If that works, because I don't know
how it shows up in the
how
book.
it shows up, because they will not want to write off an £80 million asset plus wages without getting some piece of it back. Whether that is Madrid, as like Jorginho did, refusing give him back his salary that he will be paid for the rest of his contract, and whether Chelsea would be happy enough with that. Whether they, I just think there are. I mean, in boxing there are circumstances where if a boxer dopes, there are certain contract stipulations where they will lose purses and they will lose money, and they have to give money back if they do dope. So I think this is something. Obviously, doping in football is not as common, but I'm pretty sure there is some circumstances where it's happened. I mean, Pogba is a recent example, but in the past there's probably a number of situations where it's happened, and I imagine there's got to be some stipulations in contracts where, in situations where the player makes himself unavailable for these sort of reasons, that there are penalty fees or at least ways of club being able to relinquish their responsibility of the player without the player having the power. I mean, I don't know fully. This is me speculating, but for me, it would make sense, because this is not a situation where Chelsea are just fed up with the player and want to get rid of him. This is a situation where the player won't be available for potentially 4 years, and after that, technically he can come back and still be available, but you've lost the player if he doesn't play for 4 years. You have no semblance of the player. I do think there will be
cut ties,
a lot of internal rumblings, especially because Chelsea have been reasonably. They've never turned their back on the player. Obviously, probably for legal reasons.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone I was asking, why isn't nothing coming out of Madrid? Why isn't nothing coming out of Madrid? I've always said he failed the B sample, because if it wasn't, if he had passed the B sample and he was fine, it would have been mentioned. And the B sample is usually tested within 2 weeks of test A being positive. So they would have been sitting on this knowledge, and that's why they do this provisional ban where they backdate it from the moment the A test comes, which is kind of good because sometimes these things take ages. But legally, Chelsea have been sitting on this until it's come out that officially he's been charged and whatever. Chelsea, they haven't been playing him, but they can't say anything legally. And I think you will see, maybe not in the transfer window, because obviously the directors and stuff have got a lot of things to do in terms of incomings and outgoings. But I think once the window's over, you could see some rumblings on this.
I think that'll be like a closer to the end of the window,
So what did I miss?
As you know, you're prioritizing. I think what's left is the goalkeeper, the outgoings of Madueke, and Kunku still has to have a home. Potentially Mike Mignon coming in, and maybe another goalkeeper leaving. I still think
Jackson will go.
Wow.
I do think this club.
So you still think you're getting a Jackson replacement so late in this window?
I wouldn't be surprised if Pedro is Jackson replacement.
Wow, that's bold.
Because I think when a player loses trust, that is a hard thing to get back.
Yeah. And
with the way he's been so petulant in these elbows, whatever. I mean, someone said, "Oh, Jackson should play tonight." I'm like, absolutely not, because Palmeiras are just going to try and rile him up. And for me, I just think you've got Mark Gui, who did play well last season when in the Conference League, and he would have got his time to shine in the Premier League, but then he got injured in the exact same game that Jackson got injured, which I still say is the absolute worst possible luck. I know people say about luck in football, but to have both your strikers get injured in the same game on transfer deadline day,
oh my God,
is just like the odds. It's just I think Carlito put it in like an AI thing, and it was like 0.00000.
Bruh.
Like it's just it's such a. I say it's such a Chelsea thing. It is such a Chelsea thing, and to have them as both like long-term injuries as well.
Yeah.
But I think I would be happy to have Mark Huey and Pedro as the backup strikers and let Delap have the reins. And then that frees you. You could arguably sell Noni and Jackson, and then have your Kudus with that. And then
I think Kudus. I mean, I hope he does well again in the Premier League. Not if he gets a new home, but like I said earlier, I don't think at West Ham he was impressive.
I mean, I like Malik Fofana for Lyon, but God knows what's going on with that situation.
Oh, okay, yeah. So when we were looking at wingers, I wanted Bakayoko, the PSG Bakayoko, but I don't think they're willing to let him go. I think he's a quality footballer, and I would have liked to have him over Madueke. But then Fabrizio came out and said that Madueke and Ebriti Eze are two separate deals, and Arsenal remain strongly interested in Madueke. In fact, in January, we had contacted Chelsea to inquire about the situation of Noni Madueke. And at that point, Chelsea refused to do business with us because he was still in your plans. And I think in January, it's hard to get a replacement for Madueke at that point in time.
Yeah, I think.
So why do you think Nico Jackson has been so childish?
Is that to me, Nippon, or to Melina?
Yeah, to you. Why do you think?
I just think it's in his character. Always has.
I don't agree with the personality of Madueke, and I've made that explicitly clear on this stream. I hope he can fix up his personality and attitude, and I hope he, if you get me the goals, I just hope you don't stink up the dressing room. That's my only, red flag against the signing.
I mean, the thing is with Madueke, I think he hasn't really stunk up the dressing room.
But his attitude is terrible.
But he has an attitude problem. But I think where the squad is a very young squad,
you're gonna have that issue.
I actually think he fits in, and they don't all have attitude problems, but they can. I think a younger person can deal with Madueke better than a more experienced team.
I don't have the patience for that, and
I think certain players like Norgard are going to get absolutely pissed off with Madueke. I think Arteta, who is a disciplinarian, I mean, Maresca is in a way, and there was points where Maresca left him out because they were like, yeah, he's
too much.
He's too much. He's too much at the moment. And it's just I mean,
that worries me
in the politest possible way. Sometimes Madueke is like, it's like when you feed an ADHD kid with loads of candy and sugar.
Yeah, they don't know when to calm down.
You just can't deal with them. And he has been like, there's been times where he won't play for a couple of weeks because Maresca's like, yeah, he needs to sit on the sidelines for it. And he's just inconsistent, and he'll come in and do really well for a few games, and then he'll drop out again, and he'll drop back in. I just think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I like if I don't want to sell him just for the sake of selling him, but if the right price comes in, I'm happy to part ways with him.
I think that's been the consensus among you and when I spoke to Ryan. I know
I said this last.
They said they think it's a loss. Like they would hate to see Madueke do well at Arsenal. You're so used to the signings of Sterling where you're having a laugh and you're enjoying our suffering. But I do think as a team that has not had a backup, and I mean a viable backup to Bukayo Saka, this is a good market opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I'd rather not sell him to Arsenal.
Yeah, that's the same words that Ryan used, by the way. He said, selling him to Arsenal is a bad decision. But I also think the reason that's happening is because we have good business relationship between the two.
I would go so far as to do what when I don't know if you guys remember back in 2011 when Modric moved to Real Madrid. Chelsea bidded 40 million, and that got rejected by Tottenham.
They didn't want to sell him to you.
Real Madrid bidded 30 million, and they accepted it.
Wow.
Like for me, I'd fully say
take a lower bid.
I'd fully say it's 50 to everyone and 60 to Arsenal.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's somewhere between 50 to 60. Is what
I'd look at the market right now and go, well, if Cunha and Mbeumo are going for 62.5, you guys.
Do you think Luka Modric would still be a Ballon d'Or winner and still with us if Daniel Levy had put his pride aside?
I don't think he has the legs for it anymore, though, Modric.
No, I think he means back at the time.
Oh, you mean back then? Yeah.
I think if Modric signed for us, that Chelsea team at that point, I think we would have been ridiculous.
But you already won everything, so what's the point?
I think we would have. I mean that was 2011.
You guys completed football.
That would have been Ancelotti. Modric under Ancelotti would have been ridiculous. Like a prime Modric with a prime Ancelotti. Jesus. I mean, we were already beating teams 6-7-0.
Do you think, I'm going to make a bold call here, we would have had, if Roman hadn't sacked Ancelotti, we would have built a dynasty like Liverpool did with Klopp?
No, because I think Chelsea were never that fit. I mean, I wanted us to be that fit, and I think if there was a manager to do it, Ancelotti probably could have been the guy to do it. But I just don't think Roman was never in that model. Obviously, the new.
Do you think if he had not sacked Ancelotti, like, you know what, do your thing, and let the football do the talking?
But I just don't think he wouldn't. Even if we signed Modric and we did really well in that 2011 season, yeah, he probably wouldn't have been sacked that summer. But then he probably would have. If we failed the next season, he would have sacked him then. Roman didn't have the patience for people.
Yeah.
Do you think
that waned a little bit towards the end because
remember the Mourinho thing?
Do you think with these new owners we could build a dynasty?
I think these owners are generally
if they hire the right guy.
Yeah, I think they're more than willing to keep a manager for a long time. I think they're more than happy if Maresca.
Do you think we can build? Do you think we can have a dynasty manager?
What would you define as dynasty manager?
Your Klopps, your Fergies.
So you're talking your manager for 6, 7, 8, 9 years.
Yes, your Wengers.
I think the right manager, yes. Maresca, no.
Do you think we could see him that long?
I think you'll see. I think if all goes well, we will see Maresca for 3, maybe 4 seasons. But
do you see him winning?
I think the Chelsea owners already have the next manager in line in their mind, depending on when they decide to part ways with Maresca. And that guy is currently at Strasbourg right now, and that is Liam Rosenior.
Do you think this Liam guy wins us the? Is the next Chelsea manager who will win us the Premier League currently managing in football?
I don't know, Nippin. I mean, this team, Maresca could win us the Premier League potentially, but it's hard to say. It depends on how this team builds and develops. This team has the potential to go on the win leagues. But it's got to be built right. And we're in that sensitive period where you have to be not careful, but you have to. This is the period where you have to do the final things right. This is where Arsenal are. They've got a team that has the potential to win the league, But for me, I feel Arsenal have struggled and failed to do
Wait,
the
where's Melina
final bit.
gone?
I don't know where she's gone, but Arsenal have failed to do the final pieces of the jigsaw correctly to win the league, and they've faltered because of it. And they might not ever. They might start going further and further away from it. I think we're in that sensitive moment where we just have to get the last 3 or 4 bits of the jigsaw completed to then really go on and challenge for a league. Obviously, Maresca will be a piece of the jigsaw. Is he able to do that? We don't know. For me, I think if you're asking about Liam Rosenior, is he good enough for Chelsea? Right now, I wouldn't bring him in because I think he's not experienced enough. But I think from what I saw him at Hull, he done a very, very, very good job at Hull City. He took a club that was about to get relegated, and they just literally by the shortest of margins missed out on the playoffs. And that was partially because the owners got involved and signed some players in January that kind of screwed up the end of the season run. They then sacked him because the whole owners are absolutely crazy. People think our owners are bad. The whole City owners are just mental. And they now struggled and nearly got relegated this season without Liam Rosenior. Strasbourg were struggling under Patrice Vieira, who is a more experienced manager, could only get 13th. Liam Rosenior comes in and takes Strasbourg to European competitions. Overperformed with it's a good team, Strasbourg. Strasbourg's got a good side now, although there are a few players that are getting poached, so we'll see how they reinvest in Strasbourg. But he has done a very good job at Strasbourg. Even dare I say it, he overshone Will Still, Mr. Football Manager himself, who's now gone to Southampton. But I think Liam Rosenior, it's no surprise that they've brought him to Strasbourg, and I think it will be a natural succession. But it'll be at the right time. It'll be when they want to. Obviously, if Maresca fails now, they may decide he's not ready and get someone else in. But I do think that if and when they decide to get Maresca in a few years' time, I do think Liam Rosenior, if he's still at Strasbourg and he hasn't decided to pursue his career elsewhere, I do think he'll make the step up. And at the moment, I like what I see from Liam Rosenior. I think at the moment we're at a cross point in terms of managers where we've got a lot of the good world class managers are almost nearly over the hill. They're having their peak and they're starting to either retire or they're starting to get out of sync with the way of football. And obviously football's ever evolving, and sometimes managers don't evolve with football and struggle.
Like Carlo Ancelotti, for example.
Well, like Jose Mourinho, for example. But my point is, there's not many world class managers out there anymore, and there's a lot of young up and coming managers that are maybe not quite ready, but maybe someday will be. This is where you see, like, you look through some of the biggest sides. Bayern Munich had Vincent Kompany. Barcelona at one point had Xavi. All right, they've got Hansi Flick now, but I think Luis Enrique and Hansi Flick are probably the last of that, and obviously Pep's still here. Is the last of that real world class manager. Arne Slot is another one of the young. He's older than some of the other managers I'm speaking about, but still relatively new, unproven manager that comes in.
Lionel Scaloni, for example.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Cesc Fabregas at Como. You've had Thiago Motta at Juventus. There's a lot of young managers that are coming through the works. Dare I say it, that if I go to my Belgian club, Club Bruges, Nicky Hyen, again a very young, inexperienced manager coming at Club Bruges. Vincent Kompany was at Anderlecht before he went to Burnley. There's a lot of young up and coming managers coming into football, and I think we're in that transition. So I do think Liam Rosenior is again another one of these people. Will Still is another one of these young managers coming through. The Brighton manager, another young one. Iraola, another young one.
What, Fabian Hersler?
Yeah. But
do you see Man City's next manager being a young upcoming manager?
I don't know. I don't know who Man City would go for after Pep. I always thought Ruben Amorim was the guy they'd go for, but obviously Man United have taken that, and
I swear, Man United just poison everything they touch.
They do. I don't know why people and players keep going to United. I'm gonna be gone for a few minutes, Nip, and I'll be back in a moment.
Hello? So, everyone, give us your score predictions. So there's What's the Point FC. Big up everyone who dropped in tonight. Carlito. Obviously, Matt's still here. Melina, Jordan. Also, big up the chat.
Nipping, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry, I had to go to the toilet.
Oh, no worries. So, yeah, I don't know if you saw, but I actually had to fill up petrol, hence why I was gone for so long.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah. So, you know, so far I'm glad I haven't found this, but I am certain I would have seen some twisted people out there saying, I'm not saying they're all like this, but some I'm so glad there haven't been any Liverpool fans saying this so far. It should have been Trent.
It should have been what?
No, I'm saying I'm glad I haven't seen any Liverpool fans saying, you know what happened to Jota?
Mm-hmm.
I am convinced that there would have been some Liverpool fans saying that it should have been Trent.
Well, I don't wish things into existence, but yeah, I'm just glad that don't want to wish it into existence.
I do not want to wish it into existence myself.
Should we finish up? I'll put the game.
Yeah, let's wrap up at the 2 hour mark.
Well, I'd say we wrap up at 1:30.
Sure, why not? Yeah. So yeah, this has been quite a good stream, Matt. I mean, like my peak number was, I think this is the best numbers I've had all year.
That's good.
Like for most of the stream, my view didn't go below 5.
That's very good. What do you think? What is your prediction for the game?
I think this game goes into extra time.
Nippin, don't say that.
I hope it doesn't, because I want to go to sleep.
I mean, I'm staying up anyway for it, as you not well know, but I'd like to actually, like, chill.
You and me both, Matt. But we know Chelsea won't allow us. Go on, what's your prediction?
Chelsea 3, Palmeiras 2.
I'm going to go for the same prediction as you. After extra time.
Yeah, mine's in 90 minutes. Screw extra time. Nippin, stop wishing things into existence. Lol, I've seen the best tweet ever. So
yeah,
someone tweet, Bobby Vincent put Joao Pedro.
Oh, I thought you were going to say another Bobby.
No, Bobby Vincent said Joao Pedro among the Chelsea substitutes for the first time, and then someone sarcastically put, "You know, I'm concerned about Joao Pedro." In the same way, like, in the same way people have been saying it about Andre Santos not starting. He's saying it sarcastically for Joao Pedro. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's lunacy.
Well, no, he's saying it sarcastically to take the piss out of people.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually mean it.
So, do you think we actually sign a striker?
I think we have a striker.
Joao Pedro he's not an out-and-out striker though.
Liam Delap.
I mean, we're not going to go for anyone else like a Jokeres or even a I know we don't want him, but even a Sesko.
Why do we want to go for Sesko?
Do you think Joao Pedro can do a better job?
Yes.
Do you
Sesko
think
is not.
Joao Pedro is going to score me 20 goals a season?
Sesko's not going to score you 20 goals a season.
But will Joao Pedro? Will any of our strikers?
I think Liam Delap has the potential to.
Are you just going off Harry Kane?
No.
Because he was just like Liam Delap. Until a certain Argentine we all hate brought him into existence.
I'm not going off Harry Kane. I'm going off Liam Delap. Or Liam Delap only.
Do you think Liam Delap has the same potential as Harry Kane?
I don't want to compare the two.
I mean, do you see him as a future goal machine? Like,
yes.
Like being linked to big money clubs. Do you see him ever being linked to Man City or Real Madrid or Bayern Munich?
I see him being the future striker of England and hopefully one of the future best strikers in the world.
Do you see him being linked to any big clubs? I'm not okay. We are a big club, but any clubs like your your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas.
Put it this way: if I think he's going to become one of the best strikers in the world, yes, I think he's going to get linked to big clubs.
So you think Real Madrid will monitor him at
eventually,
some point?
maybe depends on who they have. Depends on who they have at the time. Obviously, he's not. I think his style of striker maybe doesn't suit Real Madrid as much, or Barcelona, but maybe a Bayern Munich, a Paris Saint-Germain, a Juventus.
Do you think Inzaghi is finished at the highest level?
I think going to the Saudi league does hamper your reputation. But no, I don't.
Do you think he can fix it? Do you think he can fix it?
I don't think it's massively it depends on how long he stays in Saudi for.
Like, what if it's like, you know what? I've just humiliation. I just want some time away from Europe and then come back. Like, maybe, like, he's just probably taking, like, for example, I'm just taking a break. Once I'm in the right mood, I'll come back. That type.
I think he'll come back in time.
Right. So, anything else we have left, or we can save that for another stream?
I'm also going to say something a bit radical.
Yeah, go on.
This might not happen in the time when Inzaghi's there, but it might happen in the future. I think Saudi clubs will, in the future, will be part of Europe.
Wait, what? Say that again.
I think Saudi clubs will be part of Europe.
What? The Saudi League will be part of Europe? UEFA?
Yes.
This is the wildest take I've seen from you. Ever.
What's wild about it?
They're very much an Asian country. They literally play in the Asian Champions League.
Yeah. And?
Saudi Arabia are not in Europe.
Neither is Israel.
They're in Asia. Huh?
Neither is Israel.
And that doesn't make any sense.
And Yet Maccabi Tel Aviv still playing European competitions.
Doesn't make any sense.
So my point is, if Israel on the Israeli teams who don't offer any tangible benefit to UEFA can be in the UEFA Champions League, why can't the Saudi League, which can give a lot of tangible benefits to UEFA, why wouldn't they be inducted into Europe in the Champions League?
Good point. That's a good point.
And the Saudi League and the Saudi clubs will make a lot more money off being in the Champions League than being in the Asia Cup. They might have more of a chance of winning the Asia Cup, but as you've just seen with Al Hilal, they can compete with the best of Europe on their day. And if they're playing against European competition regularly, don't be surprised if they do well in the Champions League. And more if they're in the Champions League.
Do you like say once?
And Nippon, if they're in the Champions League, that means more European players will be more tempted to go.
Of course.
And of course, that will build the league up.
Right. Well, there you have it, folks. Almost 2 hours of, I think, my best stream of 2025 of pure football mania. Outrageous takes, banter, and score predictions. So, Matt, I want to give a big shout out to all the panelists and the chat. Big up Chelsea Sessions, What's the Point? KJ, everyone in the chat, Jordan, Bath Time, Jaguar. You know everyone. And yeah, with that being said, Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me in the Blue Code Project podcast on Spotify and Apple. You can find me on Twitter at MattJBall98. You can find me on the Went to Mokins Meadow podcast on Spotify and Mixler. And you can find me on the Chelsea Perspective membership section. Go get your memberships. Very cheap, very good.
And you can find me on channel. You can find me on Twitter at @TheNippon_Sharma. You can find me on Instagram at N with 4 I's and 3 U's, and my other Instagram, Nippon Reviews Lifestyle. You can find me on my second YouTube channel, Nippon Reviews Lifestyle. And you can find me. You can find me on as a cameoist on Worldwide Chels. Big up. You can also find me as a occasional cameoist on Football Carnage TV, presented by Grizz Khan of the Big Six podcast. And with that being said, I shall see you all in the next video. Up the Chels.
Up Chelsea.